This is Jimmy Hitchcock with the Hitch and Wall Show. We back. We back in full effect. We kind of back. You know what I'm saying? We kind of back. We back a little down. We we back a little just a little haywire. But we're gonna talk about that a little bit. We're gonna talk about the whole situation, the whole debacle from last night. We're gonna get some insights on it and we'll go from there. But this is the Hitch and Wall Show, and we're going to break down the game. First and foremost, I thought it was a disaster. Obviously, it was a total disaster. All right.
You are so kind. You are so kind.
Oh, it's worse than a disaster. Wow. Yeah, it could be. It could be. But you know what? You know what I was thinking about when I was watching the whole situation. And I had said this to myself going into this game. I was thinking, I hope that we put a better product out there than we saw at the spring game. And when we were talking, coming from the spring game, both you and I said one thing. And what was that?
That O-line, D-line?
O-line, D-line, and it was nothing special about what was out there. Nothing special about the product that was out there.
Correct.
Right? We said it first thing. Like, in fact, I actually went to a couple of other guys too just to get their opinion because, I was like, well, maybe me and Marcus just being too hypercritical of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when I went to them, they were like trash.
Right.
They were just right up front. They was just like, it's trash.
Right.
So the thing that I was thinking is, well, maybe that this, because this is a new scheme and he got a lot of new players, maybe it'll gel and come together by the first game, right?
Well,
go ahead.
To his defense, or maybe not defense, ECU had a whole lot of new players, and
everybody's got new players. Everybody got new players now because of NIL. You actually switching whole teams out. So that's not really an excuse anymore. That's not. But I was just trying to put an excuse in there if there could be one, but what I saw out there was not a Bill Bellichick product. I don't know who that was, and let's just talk about some critical points of the game. All right.
Okay. The very first drive. Start with the very first drive.
Talk about the first drive. Go ahead and give me.
I thought the first drive was actually pretty decent, and I thought that that was something to build upon. So it was, I was very optimistic of that first drive.
Right. Yeah, Gio Lopez hit a couple of he hit a nice little post to a flag pattern onto the sideline. He throws it about 30 yards down the field. They make some good runs. Natron group is, to me, is the only group that looked decent.
Back,
which is the running backs. That was the only really well. BJ's son, Brad Johnson's son, came in. What's his name? I forgot his last name, but Johnson. The Johnson kid came in and played well. Right. Brad Johnson, I played with him in Minnesota. That's his son. Okay, he played well at the end.
Hold on. Wait.
That was I'm saying that was the only other good part.
But can you count that as good when you're playing against maybe high schoolers and middle school? TCU brought,
I don't know. Did they have the high schoolers in at that point?
What? It was up by 100. They were up by 100.
Okay, so, maybe.
Right. We can count it as good if we're just gonna say it's good, but
I'm gonna say
in the competitive sport of things, he really didn't play. Right. I think he played against the bus driver and the guy that the security guy. I get it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. But I'm gonna say I'm gonna evaluate him from just getting the ball out of his hand quickly and hitting some routes and timing and things like that. So I'm gonna evaluate him and say that that was another good part in my estimation. I can see where you're coming from though. I
right.
see exactly where you're coming from. It, he playing against the little kids in the park. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the
Yeah,
game. But he did some good things, and he's coming off that injury where he almost got his leg amputated.
right,
So
right,
I was proud that he was able to show some some good solid things as a backup for Gio. And but Gio at some critical, like, I think that this is the most important play of the game. All
okay,
right, there we go down and score. They come back and they score after they shut us out 3 times, and then they come back and score, and tie it up 7-7. Then they get a field goal.
right.
We They're driving again to score again, and we tip the ball up in the air, and the
Get the
defensive back
pick.
number 21, I forget his name. I forget his name, but he gets the pick. Nice pick, very aware. But Gio on 3rd and 4, Bud Clark,
You talking about
but
the pick six?
pick six. Bud
That
Clark,
was late and behind the receiver.
it was late, very behind. But I'm gonna tell you something though. Bud Clark is probably gonna go in the 1st or 2nd round. So it's not an excuse, but what I'm saying is he read that play and he knew exactly what they were going to do. He had studied that film. He knew exactly what he was going to do. He's going to run that. It was just a kind of just a regular old slant out pattern where the guy just goes out to the flat, and
Yeah, he just
I
went
don't.
out to the flat.
It's a curl or a slant,
No, it was a
and
flat. It
he
went out to the flat.
yeah, he went out to the flat, and Bud just broke on that thing and intercepted it and put it in the end zone, right?
Right,
And that took it from a possible situation where we could either get them in, get in better field position to punt, or get the first down, to completely changing the entire momentum of the game, you
right,
know. And from that point, right there, we never recovered. We didn't really do anything good from that point forward. You know what I'm saying? We
Oh,
had
no, I
some,
agree.
yeah, we had some good plays here and there, but from that point forward, we didn't do anything that was special. You know,
Well, I don't know, right?
tell me.
Because, all right, on my way to the game,
Mm-hmm.
there was nobody out on the streets, right? It looked
Mm.
kind of like a ghost town, and I was nervous. I was like, "Oh my god, nobody's gonna be here." Now, mind you, I'm not 2 hours early either. I'm
Right,
right around that 45-minute game time. You know
right,
what
right,
I mean?
absolutely.
And then when you get to the stadium's packed. People were in there early, early. It's as if it
They
was
ready.
the biggest thing on. I mean,
Yes,
to come at that time. Normally, you're in traffic waiting, and you just gonna be even later. Like it was just a clear drive.
right.
Everybody was in place, ready
Hmm.
the way that it should be.
Absolutely,
So that was a real bonus of
absolutely.
the night. The simple fact
Yes,
that I can get in and out, it was easy.
yeah.
But then to get into the stadium and for that to happen the way that it did, it was rough. And
It was
now,
really disheartening, really disheartening. And I
mhm,
mean, I just felt bad for the fans. And we've seen it many
correct,
times in many years.
correct.
This is a basketball town, right?
Uh-huh.
Chapel Hill is.
Yes.
So as soon as it looks like it's out of reach, what's going to happen?
Oh, they're coming out of the stands.
They walking up out of there.
No, no, no. They weren't walking the other day, but they running out. It was,
they, yeah. They was passing the baton type running,
it
right?
was.
It
It
was
was rough, man.
it was a rough one, man. I'm saying like, so I'm going back and I'm evaluating the whole thing, like,
Right,
and looking at, the hire of Bill Belichick and et cetera. And that he was my choice. I was down for the cause.
right,
I'm I know
still,
this guy. I'm
right,
still there. I'm still there. But
right.
what I'm trying to come up with is answers for a showing like this. And
Here's the real answer.
go ahead.
The real answer is this is year one,
Hmm.
and you're not gonna make that drastic change. It doesn't matter how big your name is and what you've done in this stage of college sports, where your roster changes every semester.
Right.
It's not one of those things that's going to happen. Yes, those like myself who were very optimistic understand that the possibility of it being a great success isn't really it. But at the same time, it's one of those things where we still want to see some positive work in it.
Exactly.
And that's, I think, the thing that was most disappointing for me is
Hmm.
because I just want to see some positive work. And I just didn't see it enough to be able to feel like, oh yeah, we're headed in the right direction. And
Yeah.
again, to his defense,
Hmm.
that's kind of the norm. When you take over a program, you're hardly ever going to year one make such a big drastic change. Can he?
Abs-
Yes.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. But just like you said before, you just said everybody's switching out players.
Correct.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So everybody's rotating players.
Correct.
Teams are getting entire new rosters, just like we got 70 different new players. We got 70 different new players. And how much did they pay Geo for in the NIL? Like 2 million or something?
It doesn't matter.
But what I'm saying is when you give that amount of money to a guy who's won multiple Super Bowls, the expectations become high.
Correct.
And when you got Jordan in the stands, Randy Moss in the stands, LT in the stands, you got Julius Peppers on the sideline, you got all the greats there with some expectations of you doing well, and you make a showing like that. Now, I didn't think they was going to beat the Horned Frogs. I'm telling you right now, I knew that they. I said early on, if they show the same product that they showed in the spring game, that they would be in trouble,
Right.
right? But if they made some improvements, maybe they'll make it close. I knew that they weren't going to beat TCU, right? I
Gotcha.
had I I didn't think that they would be within 10 points,
Right.
but I didn't think it was going to be 25, 30 point
Right.
whooping. You know what I'm saying? So that's where my criticism comes, that it should have been close. You lose, but you have something to build on, and I just didn't see it. I didn't see anything to build on.
Well, I looked at it, and really the crazy part is a majority of the day I was thinking about this thing of
Right.
why it would look so bad. In my opinion, again, this is
Okay.
still just my opinion, and it was looking horrible.
Yes.
But you know, you you put those names out of those folks that was in the stands that are the greats of greats from Carolina, and
In the NFL.
truly, truly big supporters of Carolina sports in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that may help with more NIL. I think it may help with getting better evaluations
Mm-hmm.
to bring players in. Now, does it do anything for the current situation? I do not believe it will. But I think that those things surmount to a point to where you can say, all right, this is what we have, and this is what we can go get to put with this.
Right. Yeah.
Now,
And
we
tell me
can't
where
be
the tell me where the this is what we have part. Who
this is what we have is the young kids such as Bryce Baker.
okay. Yes. Bryce.
Again, you may not want to throw him into the fire the first two games in that
Right.
manner.
Mm-hmm.
Gio is, I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either.
I can't say he isn't, but I can say I didn't see it. And I think I know football decent enough to say
Mm-hmm.
I've been around some and I've seen some, and
Right.
that just wasn't it. Not to
Yeah.
say that this
And
kid
he ain't never
isn't
seen nothing like Bud Grant.
good.
He, you know he hadn't seen that type of player.
But here's the thing.
He underestimated the
He
fact that he could get
threw
to
it
the
to
ball.
Bud Grant.
He
He
right,
threw it to
exactly. He
Bud Grant.
underestimated the abilities of this. That guy could probably go in the first or second round.
Right.
But
But
we didn't,
Bud didn't have to do a thing.
right.
He was late and he threw it to Bud. He didn't. That pass is supposed to go toward that sideline every
Absolutely.
single time, and he put it behind the receiver, and it wasn't even like
Yeah.
Bud
You
didn't
should have
even
put
really
that
have to
thing
break him. He was already there,
low to the knees if you do anything.
and it was just one of those things. And there were other times when I just felt like he's holding that ball when he should have let that thing go, and so it's for me. I just don't see it now. Could he something major happen and he could be something better? I'm good. I get it. Brad Johnson is your guy. Y'all play together. Y'all friends, buddies. But listen, wherever Brad went to school, it's okay to take his son there. It's all right. I'm okay. And not that his son is some terrible person, but
Right.
again, I get to say what I want to hear.
You
Just
definitely
like
do.
they can say what they want.
That's why you on your this is
This
your
is this,
podcast. Hit and
this
walk.
is
That's
my
what it's called.
opportunity to say
Right.
he is not it either. Now, I would love to be wrong, and you
Okay.
can say, "Oh, I knew it." Yes, I wish he would shut the hell up. But at this moment,
Right.
no,
That's
he is not it. So
okay.
let them warm up the start of this season to do whatever, but bring the young kid in, allow him to get his feet wet, allow him to
Mhm.
see some things, protect him, and get him ready for the future. Because right now, if you're going with those other two, you don't have a future. One, they're both almost out the door. Two, their level of play
They
at
out
this
the door next
moment,
year. They out because Gio's
right,
out the door next year, right?
right. And so
Yeah.
that's my thing. They're almost out the door. And then two, if you don't get this kid ready, we're gonna be back in the same situation.
Right. Right. Yeah. So that's I don't want to keep bashing because I just have such high expectations for Bill Belichick, and he said it. He said it at the press conference afterwards. He said, "We got outplayed and we got outcoached." You damn sure right, you did. You got both. It's both of them. You got outcoached and you got outplayed. And the thing about it is you got out hustled too. And I've never seen a team of Bill Belichick that didn't put in maximum effort.
Right?
Maximum effort. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what I want to see. I want to see these guys put in maximum effort. I want to see them get inspired by the head coach, because you got when you play coaching
Mm-hmm.
those pros got something to play for.
Shit. They
They playing
they
for they
they playing for that now too.
right.
They're
Yeah, they
playing for
playing
that
for
now
money.
too.
They playing for money. But I'm saying they pros got a people got families, and then they want to make the Pro Bowl. They want to make the Hall of Fame. They want to make the Super Bowl. They want to be on television. They want to maximize their career. So they
Right?
don't need much motivation. You can you can motivate them by saying, "We got a chance to be in the playoffs." You see what I'm
Right?
saying? With the college kid, they might not have the gravity of the situation. So you may have to come in and give that little kid some motivation. So is he doing that? I don't know, but you should have some people on your staff that's going to be doing that because they will need it. You can't, some of these kids are so distracted these days nowadays, you have to make them focus and you have to inspire them to play. All right.
Correct.
That's one thing. The next thing is you have to make sure that you teach them like you taught us in the pros, which is technique. Like I'm watching Marcus Allen out there. He 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 backpedaling and his shoulders is as high as giraffe pussy in the elevator. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, this dude got his pads so high, and I'm wondering who coaching them.
Well,
Because the person that coached me is one of the greatest defensive back coach to ever live. So tell me what's going on, man.
well, I mean, maybe he's decided not to teach those things any longer. Maybe he's decided not to put a staff that can do those things, put a staff together that will do those little things to coach.
I don't understand.
I was going off of everything that you were saying preseason, and once the hire came, and those things make sense because you've seen the results at that level. But now you're at a level where you're dealing with kids for the most part. Yeah, you're still 22, 23, 4. That's still kids.
It's still
You know
young,
what I mean?
man. Still
And
kids.
so at that stage, yeah, they're going to need some lesson and some true coaching of understanding, at least to get to the next level. So where did that fall off at and why?
Yeah. And my thing is when you have blatant busted assignments on defense and you have the defensive backfield giving up long runs
Right?
like you had. This guy hit the sideline on a Bill Belichick defense and
Number
took it to the
7.
house. Yeah, I think it
No,
was
no,
like
no, that was the running back. The running back.
the running back number
Yeah, yeah.
5, I think. Or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure. I have to. I have
It's
to.
all right. It's all right. It
I'm a
was a
clip it.
long run. Everybody
Yeah.
will know exactly
Everybody
who we're
saw it.
talking about.
I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna clip it on here.
Okay.
But yeah, he broke containment. And the thing that we used to get taught by Bill Belichick was if a guy breaks containment, if a guy gets through the first level of defense, which is the defensive lineman, and it looks like he's going to break through the linebacker, the second level, is at the third level, which is everybody who try to corral this guy, that he only is going to get up to 12 yards.
Okay.
That's the maximum he could possibly get if you pursue in the right angle and you corral the guy in the right way and go, get to the ball at the right angles. He should at max, he should get only 12 to 14 yards at the most.
Okay. I'm with
and I'm seeing these guys run these angles to the ball that is like, what are you doing? Like, that's not the angle to the ball. Yeah. So just the fundamentals of it all was perplexing to me, So what my last question before we go, because I don't want to keep bashing them.
No, we're not bashing.
We're not bashing. It's just it's constructive criticism.
Okay, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah. So
sounds like bashing.
I'm really not bashing.
No, I know.
But I'm saying that it does look like that somebody's playing away games with a young cheerleader and not focusing on what needs to be focused on.
See, I wasn't going to go in that space, in that place. I've never seen a wife on the sideline during
those, I've never,
but maybe that's a new thing. Maybe I'm not familiar with it.
I'm not familiar with it either, bro. Like,
possibly that it's trending. So
yeah, I mean, You playing too many away games for me, bro. Like you're away from reality. You know.
Yeah,
So maybe we need to come back and play at home and do the focus on the home and
right,
what we're supposed to focus on. Maybe things will get a little better. Put
right,
some put some pieces in place where they need to be.
right.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
that's
Put
still
some.
a win.
That's a win.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
least you winning.
At least you winning. Please win in this area
Yes,
because you're
at
losing
least,
in this area.
at least you win.
You're not winning in this area right now,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
So my thing is, this is the last thing I want you to go through. What would you say to the receivers, and how do you evaluate? Because this is your position. How do you evaluate the receiver and what they did? Because they seem to be, absent after a couple of big plays in the first drive.
Right.
How would you coach them up? And what is something that you would tell them to inspire and to help for the rest of the season?
For me, I would tell them in that situation, right? Just being honest, I would be like, listen, right now, Gio's off. We've got
We taking them off
we,
the field.
uh, period, right?
Right.
If we either we gonna take him off or he taking us off, or he can't get us the ball. So
Right.
what we've got to do now is stay checked in. We got to block hard. You
Block
understand
hard.
what I'm saying?
Because we
Become
need to turn into a running team right now.
correct. Become
Yeah.
become physical players to the
Right.
point to where they're bringing 9 in the box, and now we got no option but to throw it. Hopefully, So
Exactly.
that's a possibility of what I would say. I just like keeping it a buck with guys so that they'll know. Listen, this is the situation. We're not necessarily out of it at this point. We've just got to change what we're doing to see if we can get a better result.
That's great advice. Great advice. And what I would say, especially to the defensive backfield, is first of all, the fundamentals of playing defensive backs is crucial. It's crucial. It's so important. Why? Because you're the last line of defense. You
Yes,
are the last line of defense. And what you have to do in each situation is treat it that way, that you're the
mm-hmm.
last line of defense.
Mm-hmm.
That when there's a new snap, you could give up a touchdown like that.
Correct.
Right. So your focus, you have to be so intense and so focused on what your job is that you don't lose sight of the goal, which is to keep people out of the end zone.
Correct.
Right. So you can't give up that fade route just that easy. You can't give up an easy fade route because that's the easiest pitch and catch in the game is that fade route. Right.
Yeah.
Outside of the post, the fade is easy to just boom, especially when you let them run 3 yards ahead of you. Right. So technique is the thing that you have to focus on. The most critical thing that you could focus on is your technique, knowing your assignment, knowing your alignment, knowing what to line up on that receiver,
Right.
knowing what that tendency of that alignment brings. Is it going to be, is more likely going to be an inside slant or inside route? Is it going to be an outside route? So you line up accordingly, but you're not doing that. What you're doing is what you want to do. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what I'm seeing out there. What they're doing, what they want to do. All right. But what you have to do is what's required of the defensive backfield. So my suggestion would be to get in that playbook and understand every single situation and every single thing that you have to do as far as alignment, assignment, and technique.
Okay. So
Yeah.
now my
So
question is this,
that's where
right?
that's where it had to go. That's where they have to go
No,
for
no,
me.
you're right up my alley of where I want to be at this moment
Mm-hmm.
because number 7 from TCU,
Right.
the young man was all world last night.
Yes.
he beat us by himself, and it's simply because either we didn't make the adjustment or the kid just didn't listen to the adjustment or follow the adjustment. And either way, it looked terrible.
Right.
It was absolutely positively terrible. And I think Marcus Allen is a better player than what was displayed last night.
Well, you can tell he has a lot of talent, right? You can tell he has a lot of talent. You can tell he's a long strider, rangy, long and rangy. He doesn't have the quickest feet, but you can tell he's long and rangy. And what he shouldn't do as a long, rangy player is to get beat over the top on the sideline, right? Because that's where you're going to be strongest because you're long and rangy, right? So you should always be on top. You should never be trailing on a man-to-man type of situation. You should never be trailing.
But
so tell me.
Here's what I'm saying, right? They were running quick game underneath Marcus Allen, right? And I felt like we never really adjusted. We never gave him help underneath. We never brought him down to say, hey, we're going to put somebody over top of you. Just, you try to get this boy off his mark, simply because he is pretty much the only kid or young man catching this football and making plays.
Right. See, that's what I want. That's what I want to talk about as well. And to me, this is a coaching mistake. It's not.
Okay.
It has nothing.
We're on the same page, and that's where the X's and O's come in for me.
Well,
that we should have been able to adjust.
No. This is. I don't think so. I think, that's my position. That's where I used to play. So what I saw was that he did not know how deep to line up in situations. As you get closer to the red zone, your distance should come down shorter and shorter, right? When you're out in the field, maybe you can line up at 7. Yeah, you can line up at 7, sometimes 6. It depends on who you got in front of you and what you know about the player in front of you. If they're a speedster, you got to get back to 7. If they're slower, you get to 6, and you play based on down and distance.
Right.
What I saw was a guy who did not even try to play his technique. It wasn't critical for him. In his mind, he didn't have any type of thoughts about his technique. All he wanted to do was play, just be the athlete, right? He didn't think about down and distance. He didn't see the receiver. He didn't understand routes and where they were aligning. So, hey, if he aligns here, he may run a curl, or he may run an in cut, or he may
I
you see what I'm saying? So he never at any time, at any moment in that game, start to put together that, hey, I got to watch this guy because he's lined up here and I need to align myself here. He did not think about technique. He was, just like I said, he was so high that every time he took his break, when he planted that foot, he went straight to the 90 degree.
Right.
Instead of back downhill at 45.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he rounded off almost every single time. He backpedaled quickly and his shoulder pads was this high.
So then that goes back to coaching for me then. If we're not going to necessarily say it was the player. At this point, it is the player. We understand it is the player in what you're saying, right?
Right. So but a lot of it to me was the coaching.
Take that player out and say, if this is what you're going to give me, let me put in this guy, because at least I know he's giving everything he's got. And
they did for a second, but then they put him back in, and the other guy actually I thought was putting in some good work, but then maybe they got low on DBs, I don't know, but they put him back in and let him finish the game, and I was perplexed by that because with Bill Belichick and Parcell, they would yank me quick,
right?
And put my ass on the sideline for the rest of the game.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for the next week after that. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to figure out here is who was that? Like who I'm I don't know who that was. And the thing about it is the coaching staff is not telling Bill the truth.
Okay.
You better you I know that some of those players or coaches knew that that team and that squad wasn't a good product.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if they went to Bill and said, "This is not a good lineup, bro. Like, we're gonna get beat by 17 points." You see what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know if they have the guts enough to do it to tell this man the truth of what he's putting on the field. You see, because at the end of the day, it's Bill that's putting them out there. At the
Correct.
end of the day, he's
Correct.
approving it. They got to get the approval from Bill.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if Bill's putting this out there, and you as a coach, the assistant coach, and you're not saying, Bill, this is not a good lineup. He may not listen to you right there. But once you get your ass beat, he gonna come back and say you were right. And he's gonna listen to you more and more. But if you're cowering to him and saying, "Oh, here's the god of football, so we can't question anything that he says," then you're gonna be in a situation like this all the time because you're not telling Bill the truth.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I would have been like what I was told you when we walked out and saw the spring ball. That's some bullshit. Like,
Right.
I don't know. We ain't got no talent on the outside. We don't have no speed.
Right.
Like, where the speed at? We don't have nobody to blow the top off the defense.
Well, to their
Right.
defense, let's just say that they have, and they're just saying we've
Mhm.
got to get through year one
Right.
with at least some type of wins. We
Mhm.
ain't gonna blow the doors off people, but we've got to get some type of wins and transition this thing and bloom into something more. So I'm gonna say that that's what they're saying. Look,
Okay.
I'm hoping, uh, because again, that product just, yeah, it wasn't.
Nah, that's not a Bill Belichick product. The first drive, that looked like a Bill Belichick team. The first 3-and-out defense, that looked like a product that we could deal with. But I was saying to, I was texting friends, hey, let's give it some time because, this looks like the same team that we saw in spring. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So let's see what happens. And what happened was what I thought was going to happen, which was
right,
that they get beat pretty bad. But I never thought it would be that bad, you know.
correct.
And the last thing that I would say is um, this team has to just become a physical team, and they got to run the football. Natron has a good group. Natron's group did probably the best of any group in there. You just got to rally behind them. Put the ball in the running back's hand, blow some holes open for these dudes, get incredibly physical with people, and do some play action pass off of that because we don't have the talent. We don't have the talent that we should have at this point.
I'll tell you somebody who is talented though. Jordan Ship, number one at
Oh,
receiver.
Ship is a bad boy, but they was all over him like glue.
Well, it seems like they made what they call coaching adjustments.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. Like going into halftime, I was saying nobody's better than Bill at adjustments.
Right,
So when Bill goes in there, he's going to make some adjustments. We're going to come out and we're going to make this a close game and maybe have a chance to win at the end. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened there. But I'm very hypercritical, right now because I just expected more on the effort side. You see what I'm saying? I
yeah,
just did, yeah. I expected more on the effort side, but it seemed like when they got started getting hit in the mouth that they just folded. You
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's not the sign of any type of Bill Belichick team that I've seen. And yes, I'm being critical right now because I'm supposed to be critical.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I'm supposed to tell you the truth, you know.
Yes.
So, but I think that they have some things that they can build on, and that's that running game. Because Hood and what's the other boy name?
Which one?
Forget his name.
The
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 running
one
back.
I like. The one I like the most is the young boy, the sophomore.
I
I
forgot
call it. I call him Geist, but that
that
isn't
ain't his
his
name.
name.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean anything that they put in there from the running back standpoint, and we should be better than that and know the names, but we'll get them next time. Um, the running backs room was the best of
Right.
all. We totally agree there, right?
Okay. I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah. So build off of that, and from here on, if if you're gonna win games, we can't do it through the air. We can't be a soft team. You just got to bludgeon people and run the ball and try to play good defense.
So can we not do it in the air because we are not equipped to do it in the air, or can we not do it in the air simply because you just think that we don't
I
have.
don't think we have the pieces to. I mean, we got ship, but they gonna double ship. You
Yeah,
see what I'm
and
saying?
I think we got a couple other pieces to be able to keep folks honest, right?
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
just
Like,
it's just that my concern is at the QB spot.
right.
I'm not looking for somebody who's just so dynamic
Hmm.
that they're just world beaters. I'm looking for somebody who can manage this thing, somebody
Confidence.
who can actually get folks involved. I'm not asking you to take over a game. I'm just asking you to manage the game. When it's
Hmm.
time for us to pass the rock, to get the ball to where it should be. When it's time to hand this thing off, hand the ball off, carry out your play fakes. Make sure everybody, the plays well enough that you can tell everybody their responsibilities.
Right.
That's the type of quarterback that I'm expecting.
That's somebody very competent, somebody that can move the chains. Like, we had Jason Stanisek.
Correct. Oh
Steno,
yeah. Yes.
Steno was a chain
Hey,
mover.
yes.
He was a
Yes. Yes.
chain mover. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
For
Steno was a chain
sure.
mover. He would get the job done. And that's
No
what we
doubt.
need is a leader that can command some attention in the huddle and move those chains steadily, but you know, down the field, put it in the end zone here and there. You know what I'm saying? And play good defense. That's the Carolina way, bro.
Right.
You know, and maybe we can come with that all those bells and whistles next year. But this year, lean on that 6'9", 330 pounder at the left tackle. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
got you got some huge offensive linemen. Turn them into maulers, man.
See, I'm not a fan of huge. I'm a fan of dogs.
Me too, bro.
Yeah. I
I'm
don't
not a
care if
fan.
you're huge. I don't care if you're
Yeah,
small.
but that's
I
but
want
that's what we
guys.
got though.
Yeah, like the Jeff Saturday. Jeff Saturday ain't never been bigger than the world.
Right,
But
right.
he
What
is a
was a
dog. He
monster.
was a
And
dog of dogs.
when I came back and saw him, just a side note, when I came back and I said, Jeff, I just haven't seen anybody better than you at the center.
Yeah,
And I was at the pro level. I said,
yeah,
I just haven't seen them. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to look at all the positions and I said, I
right,
just haven't seen them. So I said, you're going to make it. You're going to be there. It's
right.
just what you do. And he turned into a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that
man.
dude had mean as
That
hell,
mean
mean,
boy. Yes,
just a dog. And
yes.
that's what we need. That's what we need. We need some dogs, some mean dogs. You got to go into the neighborhoods and get some of them dogs.
That's it.
That's it.
You got to, man, because
Yeah.
that's obviously we're talking about declaring positions: DB, receiver, quarterback,
Right.
running back. But listen, those trenches is where it's won and lost, and
Absolutely.
you got to
Absolutely.
build from the inside out, or from the
Yeah.
front to the back, as they say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm looking for, if anybody can turn this around or turn a team into a different product in the next game, is this guy, Bill Belichick. I've witnessed it. I've seen him do it. So I'm hoping that there's a better product that's on the field the next time in Charlotte, because we can lose to Charlotte. We can do that.
You
You know.
saw it the other night. You just what do
Yeah.
you mean? You just
Yeah.
saw it last night.
Yeah,
What
yeah, yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
course,
yeah. We can't lose to Charlotte,
of
you
course.
know. And what we don't want to do is lose to UNCC, who just got a football program like 10 years
Yesterday.
ago. Yeah, like 25 minutes ago.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so we don't want to lose to UNCC with a Hall of Fame coach, at the helm. So let's hope that we get this ship righted and we get a win under our belt. And I think that'll help the confidence of the players and the coaches.
And don't forget now, this was what did they say, the worst loss in his 50-year career.
That's what I'm trying to look like. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, this is what I'm trying to tell you, man. I ain't never seen nothing like this. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I've seen this dude take shoestrings and bubble gum and turn it into a decent outfit.
Right.
But this outfit right now, I don't know what this is. But anyway, this is Hitching Wall. we just gonna speak it how it is. How we're gonna just we tell it real. We don't hide or sugarcoat nothing. Hitching Wall. Peace.
Peace.